What you gonna look like with a dual disc on, huh? What you gonna look like with a dual disc on, huh? Hey, what's up guys? It's LittleKuriboh here once again, coming at you, not live, but alive somehow on this bloody Academy Island that is either trying to murder me, kidnap me, or steal things from me. For one thing, my hair. Everyone thinks that Australia is one of the deadliest places to live, but it's actually Duel Academy. I mean, we've got our own resident drop bear in Chumley. And if the various crimes that happen on this island don't get you, the student loans will. I had to surrender all of my star chips in order to pay for my tuition. And I had amassed a lot of star chips. So yeah, hey guys, welcome back to LittleKuriboh Watches YGO GX, the YouTube series where I sit on my ass and watch a show about card games from more than a decade ago at this point, and I talk shit about it to your face. One of the reasons I started doing this series is because in the past I've been very negative about YGO GX, and one of the reasons I started this show was to be a little bit more positive, while also being a sarky shit. Ooh, I'm a sarky shit. That's short for sarcastic shit, in case you needed that translated. And if you are wanting to watch along with me, there are various legal means by which to do so. For example, there's DVDs, there's streaming services such as Crunchyroll or Hulu, I think, and it's on YouTube as well. At this point, you don't really have an excuse for watching it illegally, unless you just want to be a dick. But please do support the official release, and also support my talking nonsense about it. Please. But without delay, I did want to get right into this one because it is the second part of a two-parter entitled The King of Copycats, Chapter 2. And in case you need catching up because you're a lazy sod, here's Chumley with a quick recap.
Last time on YGO GX.
I'm Yugi, and if you want this deck, you'll have to prove I'm not.
Yes, Dimitri, one of the students in Raw Yellow, decided to steal the King of Games deck and do an impression of Yami Yugi while dueling people with it. It's like, imagine if Rory Bremner broke into your house and stole one of your prized possessions and insisted on doing impressions while doing so. It would be really annoying and also a crime, but mostly a get right on your tits. So yeah, this antagonist isn't so much threatening the fate of existence, he's just being really annoying, and Jaden has decided to step in and take matters into his own hands. And we return to the action in progress, where Dimitri has Dark Magician of Chaos on the field, and Jaden is down to a measly 1300 life points, which is way more life points than I would give Jaden if we were just grading his life. I'd give him like maybe 12. Jaden's friends are very concerned.
Jaden is in deep trouble.
Unfortunately, Cyrus, that's the understatement of the year.
No, an understatement of the year would sound something like this. Bastion is somewhat posh. He's really posh! He's so posh that Posh Spice looks at him and goes, oh, that guy's pretty posh. That's just how posh that guy is. Bastion goes into even more unnecessary and obnoxious detail.
The Dark Magician of Chaos. Full life points. The King of Games deck. The trouble isn't deep, it's subterranean.
The strata of trouble that Jaden is within goes back to the Cretaceous period. Fucking posh. I'm gonna slap him. Jaden draws winged Kuriboh and has a conversation with it. Like you do?
Are you sure? This could get rough, and we are going against your old master's monsters.
Wait, so does Jaden know that Yugi gave him that winged Kuriboh? You think that was one of those things that he realized in retrospect? He's like, that was Yugi. I'm an idiot. I thought it was some other bloke with massive star-shaped hair and a deep, sultry voice that caused my toes to curl. I thought it was some other guy, but it was Yugi. Of course it was. Pfft. Daft. Jaden sets winged Kuriboh in defense mode, or as he describes it,
and while he's chilling in defense mode, I'll also throw down a face down.
I just remembered that I changed my voicemail to that.
I'm sorry, but Martin can't come to the phone right now because he's busy chilling in defense mode. But please leave a message after the beep. Thank you.
I'd legitimately forgotten until this moment that that was my voicemail, and that I'd recorded it on this show a while back. I've been getting people calling me and leaving me messages being like, what the hell is chilling in defense mode? And I thought they were crazy. And now I just realized that that's why. Dimitri responds to Jaden summoning winged Kuriboh by summoning the OG Kuriboh.
Say hi, Kuriboh.
Hi. Dimitri attempts to destroy Bustina with the Dark Magician of Chaos, but Jaden activates a trap card called
Super Junior Confrontation!
Isn't that the name of the upcoming New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view? I love this art because it's just like a couple of GameCube controllers plugged into a couple of boxing dudes. It's like the trading card equivalent of Punch-Out. Is there a variant that features Mike Tyson? Because there should be. Jaden explains that this trap card cancels his opponent's attack and forces both their weakest monsters to fight.
This trap calls off your magician's attack and forces both of our weakest monsters to do battle. Weakest in points, that is.
Well, what else would you go by? Weakest in appearance. And because both Kuribohs are the weakest monsters on the field, we got a Kuriboh fight! This is why I started watching this show. Screw Yugi versus Jaden. Winged Kuriboh versus Kuriboh. Oh, he hit him with a spear! Out of nowhere! Don't mess with Kuribohs. They're vicious little buggers. Dimitri makes a mini Dan Green noise. Jaden takes his turn, and he starts things off by playing Pot of Greed, and he helpfully explains it.
It lets me draw 2 cards. And they're 2 sweet ones.
Whoop whoop!
2 sweet.
Whoop whoop!
2 sweet.
Whoop whoop!
2 sweet.
Whoop whoop!
2 sweet.
Yeah, Jaden, too sweet. Oh god, I'm bonding with him. Jaden summons Elemental Hero Bubble Man in attack mode, and he plays his field spell card Skyscraper, which causes the environment around them to be changed into that of an urban cityscape. And then he equips Bubble Man with Bubble Blaster, which is essentially a rocket launcher. Basically, Jaden's turning this duel into a game of Grand Theft Auto 5. Both the Skyscraper field spell card and Bubble Blaster give Bubble Man a boost to his attack points. So Jaden tries to shoot his bubbles at Kuriboh, only for Dimitri to halt the attack by activating the spell card Multiply, which replaces the Kuriboh with 4 Kuriboh tokens. Hang on, he's using Multiply correctly. Yami Yugi would never do that. Yami Yugi would use Multiply to create 1 billion Kuribohs, which then surround his Dark Magician of Chaos to give him some sort of invincible Kuriboh pelt armor. Or, I don't know, he'd use it to fuse Dark Magician of Chaos with Kuriboh to create the Dark Kuriboh of Chaos. He wouldn't just use it appropriately, he would break the game somehow. I'm just saying, your impression needs some work, Dimitri, because you're actually playing the game as it's meant to be played. That is not King of Games behavior. Jaden's Bubble Blast, which sounds like the name of an upcoming Nickelodeon show, destroys one of the Kuriboh tokens instead. Dimitri activates the magical card of Sanctity. Sorry, still can't help it. Which causes both duelists to have to draw until they have 6 cards in their hand. And Dimitri draws the manliest card of all time, Waterpon. Dark Magician of Chaos must be feeling really awkward right now. He spent like hundreds of years studying the arcane arts, becoming a master of the chaos magic, and now he has to hang out with some Kuribohs and a Waterpon. This probably isn't how he imagined his life going. Dimitri immediately sacrifices Waterpon in order to summon the Dark Magician of Hentai waiting to happen.
Wow, she's even cuter in person.
Jaden's the kind of guy who would go into a YouTube comments section and talk about how thick the Dark Magician girl is, isn't he? Dark Magician of Chaos attacks Bubble Man and takes out his rocket launcher. Like he's Spider-Man on the PS4, taking out a bunch of Wilson Fisk's goons. Dark Magician girl attacks, but not before doing an unnecessary number of twirls. You done? No? Come on. Dimitri says,
The heart of the cards are indeed powerful, aren't they, Jaden?
Once again, you botched it, Dimitri. The heart of the cards is a singular noun. You don't say are. You don't say the heart of the cards are great. You don't have multiple hearts of the cards. That's just selfish. Unless you're from Gallifrey. See, I don't say are. You say heart of the cards is. Speaking of bubbles, Jaden summons that bubble-butted gentleman, elemental hero Avion. And then he fuses Avion and Bustina to summon elemental hero Flame Wingman. And then he uses the warrior returning alive to bring out Sparkman. Skyscraper raises Flame Wingman's attack to 3,100.
3,100 attack points, that's...
Yep, enough to take out your magician. Either one. But since I have a soft spot for the girl, we'll start with him.
You know, Jaden, killing one of her friends isn't gonna make her more likely to give you her phone number. I'm just saying. Flame Wingman's special ability kicks in, causing Dimitri to lose the same number of life points as Dark Magician of Chaos's attack, dropping Dimitri to 900 life points. Bastion is very imposhed. Sorry, impressed.
Simply remarkable. Dimitri is dueling just as the King of Games would, yet Jaden is staying competitive, winning even.
Sorry, no, Bastion, he's not dueling exactly as the King of Games would. If he were, we would have had at least 2 straight minutes of friendship speeches in the last turn alone, and he'd be ranting on about having to save the world and shit. No, he's being way too efficient to be dueling like Yugi. And from the King of Games, we go to the King of Glutes, because hot damn, Sparkman! That is an impressive behind. Good grief, the elemental heroes must just be doing squats constantly while Jaden's not using them. Look at that! More like elemental hero Spankman. I wanna grab the tushy. Bastion continues.
Sure, he was a bit overwhelmed at first by Yugi's deck, but now he's really turned things around. Who knows, maybe one day his deck will be going on tour right beside Yugi's.
Motherfucker, are you serious right now? You're comparing the deck of a guy who has gone down in history as being one of the greatest duelists of all time to this upstart punk Jaden who's been at school for like a month. Yeah, I'm sure people will come from miles around to see the trading card Super Junior confrontation. Maybe they'll show his deck as an example of how to be a jammy bastard. Sparkman electrocutes a Kuriboh to death. That is some gratuitous Kuriboh violence right there. I don't approve. And Jaden uses the spell card Emergency Provisions, which still looks to be comprised of better quality food than what they serve at the Slifer Red Dorm. Dimitri makes more Dan Green noises.
You have nothing! My deck is prepared for all contingencies!
And then he thwips out the spell card Spiderweb. Spiderweb, Spiderweb, friendly spell card Spiderweb. What's it do? I don't know, but it is in his deck. Hey, there is the Spiderweb. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Dimitri makes his move.
Next I'll place 2 cards face down. Then I'll activate the spell card, Monster Reincarnation. And next I'll make 3 sacrifices, which lets me play Emergency Provisions. Finally, thanks to Reincarnation, I'll take back the Kuriboh I just lost.
Okay, he's doing a much better job of dueling like Yugi now, because I don't have a fucking idea what just happened. Which is how I felt most of the time when Yami Yugi was dueling. Flame Wingman attacks and destroys Dark Magician Girl, which exemplifies the final point on the Jaden system of picking up women, which goes as follows. Jeopardize your relationship with other people in order to get with her, ask her if she's single, dominate the conversation with talk about card games, establish that she has no reason to look anywhere else for a partner, and then nullify the relationship by destroying her in a card game. That is the Jaden system of picking up women. Don't use it. Flame Wingman's special ability kicks in again, and Dimitri loses life points equal to Dark Magician Girl's attack, which causes him to make some intense Dan Green noises. Dimitri recovers from this fairly quickly.
Good thing I padded my points last turn.
Yeah, you know, I like to pad my points when I go out looking for a date. I just walk around the nightclub being like, check out my points. They're natural. Jaden uses Defection and brings back Bustina and Avion. Bastion is very impressed, and I mean, I don't blame him, because now he gets to look at Sparkman and Avion's butts at the same time. That lucky posh shithead. Avion and Bustina both attack and destroy Kuriboh tokens. What is with the wanton Kuriboh violence in this episode? It's very upsetting. This should be rated M for mature because of all the fantasy Kuriboh violence. People could imitate that and attack me. They'd be throwing elemental hero avions at me everywhere. Actually, I'd be okay with that. Chumley declares this to be licious. You! Kuribohs are dying! That is not licious! How would you like it if I said you dying was licious? It isn't! It's one of the more anti-licious things I've heard of! Sparkman sends an attack directly at Dimitri, who reacts like somebody's tickling his big toe with a feather. Stop it. Dimitri negates the damage from the attack by sacrificing a Kuriboh from his hand. Yeah, you see, this is why you don't take Kuribohs for granted. We're useful in a pinch. Oh, I want to pinch Sparkman's bum. Dimitri is very grateful to Kuriboh, as he should be, and he has a conversation with a JPEG.
That move takes me back to our duel against Seto Kaiba at Battle City. Those were some good times, weren't they, old friend?
Good times. Marek was trying to kill half your friends. Well, you're not Yugi, what am I talking about? Dimitri begins to summon a monster by removing Waterpon and Kuriboh from his graveyard, causing Jaden to react.
Pause and rewind.
F off, you f off! Jade and Yuki there busting out catchphrases that would have felt dated in the mid-90s. Jaden's the kind of guy who, when everybody else is dabbing, he tries doing the Harlem Shake. Bastian is amazed by what Dimitri is trying to pull off, and explains that there are only two kinds of monsters that he could be trying to summon.
The first is Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of the End, a card so very powerful it has been outlawed in official Duel Monsters tournaments. The second has power comparable to the Chaos Emperor, but has never been forbidden on account of its scarcity. In fact, some say not a single one still exists.
What, was it hunted to extinction by trading card poachers or something? Why would it stop existing? Dimitri stuns everyone by summoning Yugimoto's grandpa's boyfriend.
Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning!
No, not Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. Jaden is shocked that Yugi had that card, and says he thought it was just a rumor.
I'm afraid not. This card's been a part of my deck for a long time, but I only take him out for special occasions.
You know, birthday parties, a first date. I whip out my Blackluster Soldier, I'm like, Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, don't you know? Blackluster Soldier slices Avion to pieces, and Dimitri explains that when Blackluster Soldier successfully destroys a monster, it can attack again. But Jaden counters this by playing Hero Spirit, which brings back Avion for a split second to stand in front of Bastina and take the attack in her place. Oh great, now bloody Bastina gets to look at his ass as well? Am I the only one who doesn't get a close-up look at Avion's bum? Feeling very left out. A JPEG of Winged Kuriboh communicates with Jaden, and Jaden despairs to Winged Kuriboh, saying that there's no way for him to beat Dimitri when Dimitri has the heart of the cards on his side. And Winged Kuriboh has had enough of Jaden's shit and starts beating the ever-loving piss out of him. Fight! 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 Now this is the kind of wanton Kuriboh violence that I can get behind. Jaden is confused and asks Winged Kuriboh what he's talking about. Of course the heart of the cards is with Dimitri. He's using Yugi's deck. And then Jaden realizes what Winged Kuriboh's trying to tell him. That there's no way that Dimitri could have the heart of the cards on his side because he's using someone else's deck. And the heart of the cards apparently relies on you believing in your own deck, not somebody else's, which is patently bollocks because there's been numerous occasions where Yugi has had to believe in the heart of the cards in order to draw a card that somebody else used. So I think this plot point is a little bit flimsy. No, but seriously, is this going to be like the drawing skill in the Egg Witch episode, and it's just going to reveal that the heart of the cards was bollocks the entire time? If GX officially retconned the heart of the cards, it would be amazing. Jaden activates the spell card Silent Doom, which is another name they use for Chumlee's nighttime flatulence after he's had his traditional grilled cheese dinner. This card lets Jaden summon a monster from his graveyard in defense mode. And once again, he brings back elemental hero Avion. And sadly, because he's in defense mode, he's kneeling down, so we can't get a good look at the goods. And then Jaden activates the spell card Double Spell. And the artwork seems to depict a couple of ancient sorcerers locked in battle with the magical equivalent of rock, paper, scissors. This allows Jaden to discard one of his spell cards in order to use one of the spell cards in his opponent's graveyard. Spell card, graveyard. And Jaden totally owns Dimitri.
If you need more info, just look in the official rulebook under the heading, How'd I Lose?
Probably the nerdiest attempt at owning somebody I've ever heard, but sure, it counts. And Jaden uses Double Spell's effect to take Dimitri's polymerization card, which causes Dimitri to let loose yet another Daniel Green noise. And Jaden uses it to fuse Avion and Bastina back into Elemental Hero Wingman.
To create my deck's headliner one more time, the Elemental Hero Flame Wingman!
Meanwhile, all the other fusion monsters in Jaden's deck are like, oh, I guess we don't exist. Rah, we're monsters. And of course, Skyscraper gives Flame Wingman an extra 1,000 attack points. But way more importantly than that, check out the thigh gap game on Flame Wingman. That is impressive stuff. You can even see a bit of underbum. The underside of his butt cheeks through his thighs. That's crazy detail. They gave these elemental heroes some fantastic bombs. I'm very happy. I think I'm starting to fall in love with elemental heroes. More like elemental hero 4 wingman. I need a wingman to hook me up with elemental hero flame wingman. Flame wingman attacks and destroys Blackluster Soldier.
My luster soldier's gone!
Don't sweat it. He was never yours to begin with.
Yes, even though their love is forbidden, his heart belongs to Yugi's grandpa. Once again, Flame Wingman's special ability kicks in, and he subtracts a number of life points equal to Blackluster Soldier's attack from Dimitri, reducing his life points to zilch, and causing Dimitri to let out one final Dan Green noise. Jaden says des gum. Dimitri falls down onto all fours because, again, that is what you do when you lose a card game. If you don't get down on all fours after you lose a trading card game with somebody, you lose all future card games. That's just the rules. And it turns out that Dimitri's psychosis isn't just limited to thinking that he's other people, it also causes him to believe that he is crying trading cards.
Even with
Yugi's legendary cards.
Dimitri drops the act and starts behaving like himself again, and he cries out, demanding to know why he can never win. And then Zane and Alexis emerge from just off screen, where they've apparently been watching the entire duel go down.
Why are you guys here?
Why else? To see the deck, but it was gone.
What, are we supposed to believe that the entire school tried to sneak in under cover of darkness to get a peek at Yugi's deck? Oh, I guess we are, because apparently every single student is on the cliff watching the duel happen. I mean, I guess it would be hard not to notice the giant holograms and the explosions happening a few miles away from the school, but it makes you wonder why none of the staff noticed. All of the students start applauding for Jaden and talking about how great he is. Of course, in reality, these kids would just mob the beach and try and get their greasy mitts on Yugi's cards. But no, let's pretend that every student would just unanimously agree that Jaden is the best and he should teach them everything he knows. Dimitri asks what happens next.
What now?
Well, kid, the punishment for stealing has always been crystal clear.
Has it? Fucking has it? Because given the way that this show has gone so far, I'm under the impression that the entire school is populated by thieves and criminals, and probably kidnappers. But the only person who's had to leave was Chaz, and he did that voluntarily, after having stolen someone's cards and not being punished for it. What kind of fucking crystals are you talking about, Zane? That qualifies as crystal clear.
But still, since I think pretty much everyone here enjoyed seeing Yugi's deck in a duel rather than a display case, I doubt anyone will turn you in.
F*** off! F*** off! F*** off! F*** off! F*** off! F*** off! Oh, he gets off scot-free, does he? Oh, that's a massive surprise. What a turn up for the books, huh? F*** off! But no, guys, the punishment for stealing is crystal clear, as been made evident by the Duel Giant and Damon and now Dimitri. Punishment's crystal clear. But Dimitri still has to learn an important lesson.
What difference does it make? I lost.
You didn't lose.
I'm not coming back.
That person you were pretending to be did, Dimitri.
Yugi?
No, bro. You can never be Yugi.
Way to empathize, Jaden. Good job.
Then who was I?
Well, you were you, but you weren't. See, when you copy someone, it's not like you're that person. You're you copying that person.
What kind of fucking lesson is this?
There is no amount of studying that you can do to be able to use someone else's deck as well as they can.
Bull fucking shit. You can definitely learn how to use somebody's deck better than they can. In the first episode of Duel Monsters, Yugi takes his grandpa's deck after his grandpa just lost and wins with it. Am I taking crazy pills? Because this is nonsense.
I mean, no offense, but just because I beat you, it doesn't mean I could have beat Yugi.
Yeah, well, tell that to Bastion. Jaden's deck will go on tour someday, Misawa. Jaden says, let's go put that deck back where it belongs. Okay, but who's gonna repair the glass case that it was in? Or pay off Crowler so that he doesn't tell anybody that this happened. The following day, in the exhibit hall, Yugi's deck is on display. And of course, most of the students in the room aren't even looking at it because they've realized that this exhibit is boring as So thank God we saved Yugi's deck, so people could be bored. Jaden and Chumley regard the exhibit hall with a sense of accomplishment.
Everything's back to normal, huh?
Well, I mean, you know, as normal as things get around this crazy place.
You guys do know that there are still students missing, right? Jaden is extremely pleased with the signed poster of Yugi Moto that he got out of this experience. And hilariously, the poster of Yugi looks to be pissed at the fact that Jaden is touching him. Then Cyrus runs in from outside and tells Jaden that Dimitri's at it again. And then when Jaden, Chumley, and Cyrus rush out to see Dimitri, they find him cosplaying Jaden.
Ah, Dimitri, what are you doing?
Who's this Dimitri? My name is Jaden, and I'm a Slifer Red.
No, I'm sorry, the acting is too good. You gotta take it down a few notches, be more bland in your delivery, otherwise I'm not buying it.
Listen, we're dueling, so turn your game on.
It's get your game on. Say it right.
No, you know what? I prefer Dimitri's version. Much less obnoxious.
We'll settle it in a duel, so let's throw up.
Oh, believe me, if I ever saw two Jaden Yukis in the same place, I would be throwing up. Yeah, too sweet, Dimitri. Everybody's in Bullet Club in this episode. Jaden attempts to help Dimitri perfect his impression, while Cyrus and Chumley close out the episode.
And shout from your diaphragm. That's sweet.
I want a catchphrase.
Yeah, I think I just want out of here.
And that's the end of the two-parter. Now, I know I gave this episode a lot of crap. I really kind of did lay into this one quite a bit. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this one a lot. This is probably my favorite episode of GX so far. And I don't just say that because of all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters references with Yugi's deck and Dimitri doing the Yami Yugi impression. I genuinely thought it was entertaining. I thought it was a good throwback while also having an identity of its own. It did a good job of showcasing a lot of the cards that Jaden's been using in the series, but it also gave us a good look at some of the classic monsters that Yugi had that he didn't use very often. It was really cool to see Dark Magician of Chaos come up. It was like a walk of fame of Yugi's monsters, and I liked that. That was really cool. It was very entertaining. I thought they did a really good job with this one, considering that obviously the idea of Jaden versus Yugi is probably still in a lot of people's minds when they watch the show initially. And this episode did a good job of, while not giving you that, giving you sort of a facsimile of it instead, which was still good, you know? I don't quite know about the lesson they were trying to teach Dimitri at the end there. I feel like the lesson should have been, don't try and be anybody else. You should emulate your own strengths rather than other people's. But they turned it into a whole thing about the heart of the cards and how you can't learn how to use somebody else's deck. It shouldn't be about decks. It should be about your personality. They didn't really go that way with it, and I didn't think that was that effective. They went a weird way with it. Having said that, as always, we have to ask the most important question, which is who had the best arse? And I think this one's a no-brainer. Elemental Hero Flame Wingman, because hot damn, you could see his bum through his thighs. More like Elemental Hero Damn Wingman. But who did you think had the best bottom? Because, you know, different strokes for different folks. I want a stroke of the bottom. Before I leave you guys, I want to give a massive, whopping Elemental Hero Flame Wingman thigh gap sized shout out to all of our Patreon pledges. You guys, I love you. You guys are the best. You guys help us do this. You guys make us able to do this. I wouldn't be able to do this consistently or as effectively or at all, really, without you. So thank you to each and every one of you down there. Thank you so much. And don't forget, we have a bunch of new t-shirts in our online store. If you want to check it out, we've got one up there that I'm showcasing. But if you want to check the description, you'll see a link to our sharkrobot.com store where you can buy merchandise, which also supports us if you can't pledge to the Patreon. And there's all kinds of t-shirts, all kinds of sizes. Hopefully you'll get a chuckle out of some of them. So please check those out. Shell. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.
Oh.